Did you know that you have two hearts? No, seriously. We know the main heart that we always talk about, which is right there at the chest, but your calf muscles are considered the second heart. And this is because when the calf muscles contract, especially the one known as soleus, they help to pump blood back up into the heart, helping with venous return, helping with circulation, and also helping us to avoid things like deep vein thrombosis. But there's one particular thing about the calf muscles, and in particular the soleus, that's very interesting, especially for us in menopause. The soleus muscle, when activated after a meal, can help reduce glucose spikes by about 52%. That is huge because for us women in menopause, our bodies are becoming less sensitive to insulin, and they're also becoming less tolerant to glucose spikes. So we need to really look for ways where after our meals, we will always have glucose going up and down. That's a given. You cannot eat anything and glucose doesn't change. It will always change. Insulin will always change because insulin has to come in and take that food that you have eaten into your cells to act as energy. So we will always have those fluctuations. What we don't want is the very huge spikes of glucose. So after a meal, activating the calf muscles, the soleus muscle, does help to reduce those glucose spikes. The other thing about making sure that your calf muscles are working well in menopause is that as soon as we get into menopause and we start to lose estrogen, the blood vessels change. So our blood vessels become thinner, they become stiffer, and they're not able to pump blood as they used to pump before. And that's why you might find that many women in menopause start to get swelling in the feet, start to get more varicose veins. They feel like they have the heavy legs. Their circulation is not going very well. And that's because our blood vessels are changing. Not only is our blood vessels changing, but also the lymph system, which helps to pump lymph back up into the circulation, the main circulation, is also changing. So veins are becoming stiffer, thinner, and not being able to pump blood very well. The lymphatic system is also changing. So here are some calf exercises that you can do to really strengthen your calf muscles so that they may be able to pump blood properly for you back into the heart. Now, I'm going to be showing you most of those exercises at the wall, but I will also show them here with a chair so that you can be able to see from this angle. For these exercises, you will need a small ball. This is a therapeutic ball. This is a tune-up therapy ball, but you can use a tennis ball. You'll need a hand towel, a chair that you can hold on to, but also that we're going to use to sit down. And also, I have a small kettlebell. You can use any weight or just a kettlebell. I have a kettlebell, and the kettlebell doesn't need to be very heavy. We're going to start off with what we call calf raises. So you'll take your towel and you will bring it to just the back at the wall. I'm showing you here just so that you can see from this angle, but we'll take it to the wall too. So you'll have the ball of your foot and the toes on the towel. The feet are close together because we're going to bring this ball in between the heels. So we have the ball in between the heel. Now I'm holding on the chair just for minimum support. And we're going to raise our heels. That's an inhale. You can use an inhale there. And then lower slowly down to a count of 3 with an exhale. 1, 2, 3. And I'm obviously squeezing that ball as I lift my heels. Inhaling up, exhale lower with control. 1, 2, 3. And this is really what helps strengthen those calf muscles, also helping to pump that blood up again, up towards the heart. Now I'm going to show you this at a wall. Ball of the foot, the ball of the foot and the toes are on the towel. So we're doing the same thing as we were doing with the chair here, just squeezing that ball between the heels and raising the heels up, like you're wearing a stiletto, and then lowering to a count of 3, slowly lower. That slowing down is what really helps to build the calf muscle. Again, squeezing that ball, it can be a tennis ball, and lower. From there, we're going to do something that is called heel kisses, and this is really targeting the soleus muscle, that deep calf muscle, the one that I said helps to even reduce blood sugar spikes. So this time we're not going to put the ball at the heel, rather we're going to bring it in this small indentation that's just behind the ankle. That indentation is where we're going to have the ball. So you lift your heels up, squeeze the heels together as though you're bringing the heels to kiss. We call it heel kisses. And then lower to a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. So lift your heels up and then squeeze as though you're bringing the heels together and lower. 1, 2, 3. One more here. Lift and squeeze the heels together and lower. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Then from there, heel raises are good, but we can also do heel drops. Also, heel drops do help to strengthen those calf muscles. So for this, you can have a stool, and we're going to do the same thing at the wall, except this time we're dropping the heels. Now, this can also be done on your staircase. As you're going up the stairs, just drop one heel down. So I'm keeping one foot flat on the stool and just dropping the heel of the other foot. Now, I'm not raising the calf. I'm not raising the heel beyond the level of the stool. So you just drop it and then bring it at the same level as the other foot. You don't need to raise it because we've already done calf raises. So these are called heel drops, and they too help to strengthen the calf muscle. They're also good for strengthening, for contracting the soleus, especially for glucose. You do them on both sides. From there, we're going to do a soleus specific, an exercise that is specific to that soleus muscle that's deep inside there. An exercise that's specific for the soleus muscle. You don't need any equipment for this, but if you feel that balance might be an issue, you can go to the wall. So I'll bring one foot forward. I'm bringing my right foot forward, and the other left foot is just going to be slightly back, and it's going to be in what we call a kickstand foot. So the ball of the foot and the toes are on the ground, but the heel is lifted. Then I'm going to slouch forward. Now, I'm just going to test myself here to see if I can be able to lift that back foot without shifting my weight forward. So slouch forward. Try and lift that foot without falling forward. This is where you might need a wall. And then bring your arms down, and you're really going to slouch like gorilla arms. Now, I'll put the toes and the back foot down, but there is no weight on them. Then I'm going to slowly lift my front heel, just a tiny lift, a lift that I can be able to slide a credit card underneath. It's not a stiletto, just a slight heel. You might feel your glute muscles kick in here, the glute of the foot that is forward. You might also feel this is really the calf muscle that we are strengthening, the soleus muscle here. I'm slouching, completely slouching. When you get good at this, there's a little tiny space here. You can start to add eye movements. So turn your head and turn your head the other way. And what's going to happen is that your body is going to try and stabilize, and in that process, it is strengthening the soleus muscle. You can also challenge yourself by closing your eyes. And this is where the body really gets challenged, and it tries to stabilize with that soleus muscle. And then, of course, do both sides. You do both of them on both sides. At the beginning, you might need a wall to hold onto your wall. You might not even be able to turn your head, and then you can add turning the head, and you can also add closing your eyes when you get good at it. From there, I'm going to grab my kettlebell and my small towel. I'll fold the towel into a little tiny bundle. And I'll bring my left ball of the foot and the toes on the towel, and my back leg is in a lunge leg. Now I'm going to lift my front heel. So as you can see, my front heel is lifted, and I'm going to go up and down in that static lunge, but with my heel in the front leg lifted. And this is really strengthening that calf muscle. Now, if this is very tough and you can't do that, hold on to the wall and just do one side, and instead of coming up and down, you just lift the heel up and down. Hold on to a wall, stay in that lunge, and just lift the heel up and down. And it's not a very big heel, but a heel lift. You'll also feel the glute muscle kicking in. All right, and again, with that, you also do both sides. Our last one is going to be a seated calf raise. And so grab a hold of your chair. You'll come and sit down and take the weight that you have, your kettlebell, lean onto it, because we want weight going down that foot. And we're just gonna lift our heel, strengthening that calf muscle. Again, this is a calf raise. Now, you don't have to do all this on one day. You can just decide one day you're going to do 2 of this or something else different. And then maybe just tell yourself that you're going to take a week, and each day you do a little bit of each of the exercises. Now, when it comes to calf raises, let's say at the wall, you can do about 10 reps, 8 to 10 reps. Heel drops, 8 to 10 reps. Then the soleus slouching forward, just give yourself time, like 30 minutes. 30 seconds, not 30 minutes. And this one of the kettlebell, I'm just going to do 8 to 10 calf raises seated, and I'm pushing weight into this leg. So my calf and my leg are having to resist that weight. After that, then just stand up, walk around, make sure that you feel that strengthening of the calf muscle. Also, it's a good idea to stretch it every once in a while. Make sure that after your meals, you can choose one of these exercises even when you're seated at your desk, and you can do your calf raises even seated at the desk. You don't have to have any sophisticated equipment. Just sit at your desk, spread your toes, and lift your calf, your heels. Also, while you're traveling, maybe on a long flight, this is a great exercise to do when you're on long flights. If you're driving with somebody and you're not the driver, this is something also that is very good that you can do on a long drive, as long as you're not the driver. All right, I hope that helps. Now, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that button, subscribe, and you can also tap that bell so that you're notified when I post something new. My page is all about menopausal health, and thank you so much for being here. Hit subscribe. Thank you.